Hi guys, it's COWPLANTPIZZA here and welcome back to my cozy corner of YouTube. Today I'm going to be doing a speed build based on this build that I found on Pinterest. It's going to be up on the screen in a sec. It's by Ritz-Craft Custom Homes. I'm going to link them below, and I follow them on Pinterest and they make some really nice floor plans. I tried my best to follow the floor plan actually inside the house, but it didn't really go as well as planned, so I kind of winged it and it was a really awkward floor plan to actually work with. You will see me really struggling with the kitchen and the living room later on in the video. The bedrooms were really nice, they were easy to work with, but the kitchen and the living room were really kind of awkward to work with, and I kind of had to improvise with where I was putting things and try a few different layouts before I was happy with what I finally came up with. Just a little interruption before I continue talking about the build. I just wanted to say a huge thank you to EA and their creator network. They've continued to provide me with codes over the past few years so I can make content for you guys and stay simming even when I thought it wouldn't have been possible with my financial situation. So a huge thank you to EA for allowing me to keep simming. Just a reminder as well that there is a giveaway running on my Simblr with a code provided by EA for the Life and Death expansion pack. This giveaway ends on the 31st of October, which is only in 4 days time, so if you do want to enter, I will be putting a link below in the description for you to head over there and enter before the deadline. Also, last but definitely not least, I now have a creator code, which means that you guys can support both me and the channel absolutely free by basically entering this code at checkout on the EA app. If you guys are buying anything, and by the way, this is the perfect time to do it because there's a huge Halloween sale on right now on all of Sim's stuff, you can use the code COWPLANTPIZZA, all one word, all capital letters, at checkout, and I will get a small fee from your purchase, and that will help me tremendously as a disabled person. There's no pressure for you guys to use this, but if you do, a huge thank you. It would mean the absolute world to me. Anyway, thank you guys for listening to that little pitch there. Back to the build. I really am proud of myself with the landscaping that I did on this build. Landscaping is normally both my favourite and least favourite part of building in The Sims. I love to watch other people do landscaping. People like Griffey are just magical landscapers, but then when I do it I'm just like, oh, I'm just throwing together leaves and rocks and shit and hoping it looks good, some hedges here, some hedges there, and then trying to cover it all up by putting cute seats and benches and stuff out there as well. I actually go ahead and change the backyard a little bit later in the video, but right now I'm just discovering why the front of the house looked weird, and it's because it didn't have those two front facing roof areas, and now that I've put them in, everything kind of starts to come together. I'm really sorry if you can hear my cats playing. My two kittens are having their post-dinner zoomies right now and they're playing behind me, and annoying my older cat a little bit, so if you hear some hissing, don't worry. it's fine. I will go control them if need be. Here I'm just deleting the fence at the back because I feel like it didn't need a fence all the way around. I put a fence on the right side of the property to kind of give them some privacy from the path that's going up that way, but I do just finish the fence at the tree, and keep the rest of the garden unfenced. I don't know if I'm happy with that idea now that I'm looking at it, but it looks fine when it's finished, so I'm just gonna ignore the fact that I might be unhappy with that. You guys can add a fence if you want to around the outside of the garden, it's totally up to you. I'm just trying to work out the floor plan now, and I am kind of happy with how it turned out. The master bedroom I kind of dabble in here, but then I do come back to it a bit later because it was really annoying me how I couldn't find curtains that I like, and couldn't like find a just a set for the bedroom that I was happy with. So like the colour scheme that I had in mind wasn't working properly in game, so I do take a break from the master bedroom and come back to that a little bit later. As I'm just finishing off the outside of the build, I thought maybe we could talk about the type of sim that I imagine living in this house. If you haven't guessed already from the title of the YouTube video, this house is built with a single ADHD parent in mind. So to begin with, I just knew that the parent that was going to be living here was going to be a single parent. Obviously, if you guys want a dual parent, if you want two parents to live here with their child, that's absolutely fine, it's your game. But I built it with the idea of very specific sims living here. And the specific sims that I imagined was an ADHD single mom. And like, I'm pretty sure that I have ADHD myself, and my partner has ADHD as well. And when I was making this house, I kind of had an ADHD moment where, to begin with, I was like, okay, this sim likes gardening and cooking, and that's it. And then as I was going through the home, I just kept adding more and more, and I was like, oh, and they can like this, and they can like painting, and they like embroidery, and they really like reading as well. And I just think that's so realistically ADHD of both me and the sim that will be living here. So you'll see when we get to the interior of the build, she does like everything in The Sims that you can possibly think of. Any hobby that is available for her to level up, she's leveling it up. I imagined that she was an entrepreneur, which is the career where they like sell stuff themselves on Plopsy that they make. And so I gave her lots and lots of activity, like what they called stations, like workbenches, activity related items where she can be making things herself and then selling them on Plopsy. And because I gave her a pool and a fairly nice furnished house, I imagine that she's kind of doing really well with that. It's the dream. She's living the girl boss dream right now. She's like selling paintings for 10 billion simoleons and whatever, and all she does with this money is improve her home to make her child happy. So I kind of thought that the parent sim would have the non-committal trait, but I think that conflicts with the family orientated trait. I'm not 100% sure, but if it doesn't, I think it would be perfect for her to have both those traits, because she, like, her child is her life. And because she's a single parent, she has like no one to look after with giving gifts or whatever. One sec, my cat is playing with my plant. I am back. And it would have been a second for you guys, but I had to get up and like a 1v1 my cat because he was trying to pull my spider plant off my bookcase. But anyway, back to discussing what I was talking about, which I can't remember. Oh yeah, so she's like, she really struggles with ADHD and holding down a job and a relationship and everything like that, but she's found that she can sell all of her hobby things on Plopsy and like make a really good profit from it. Also, I'm out of breath because of that incident with my cat, so I apologise for that. But this sim, like, all of her money can go towards her child and giving them everything that they want. So I imagined, like, you saw that there was a pool in the backyard. I imagine that the kid was like, I want a pool, and so she got them a pool. And I don't want to say that the child is spoiled, because they're not. They're like, this child is very grateful and completely understands that their mom is like a hardworking sim, and the child is also very hardworking as well, which I will go into detail about when we do their room. But I just imagine that this parent sim, I keep saying it's a mom because that's just how I imagined it, but it could be a dad as well. This parent sim is just like, everything they do is for their child, and I thought that was so cute. This is their bedroom. I do end up changing it a little bit later on, because I just wasn't vibing with the whole mirror above the bookcase thing and the big wardrobe in the corner, so I do change that. But first we do the child's room, and I initially got the idea that they love animals because of this bedspread, and this is a swatch from Horse Ranch, and me being shocked at this swatch kind of made me realise that I hardly play The Sims. Like, I haven't played at all since Horse Ranch, it feels like, because I am just shocked at like the cute stuff that we have, which is bad. I need to start playing a little bit more and a bit more consistently. But yeah, this bedspread kind of gave me the idea that this child sim loves animals and wants to be a veterinarian when they grow up. I cluttered the heck out of their room as well and tried to use as much like animal stuff as I could, and also lots of blues and purples because I imagined that they were their favourite colours. And then obviously there's the vet posters. We can't forget about them when you have a child sim that wants to be a vet. But I also imagined that this family probably had like a cat or a few cats, and I did put like some food bowls and stuff down in the kitchen and some scratchers and a litter tray in the laundry room as well, which you will see in a little while. So that's basically it for the children's room. It was really easy for me to do because I feel like kids' rooms are just really, really messy and really easily clutterable because they're just so fun to add stuff endlessly to. I think I went AFK here for a little bit, but I've talked over it, so now I can't edit it out. Anyway, I'm back now. So I'm just finishing off here with cluttering up the desk. And this is a trick that I figured out watching another person on Sims YouTube. I can't remember their name, but they fill up every single like spot where items can lock onto with an item that you're easily going to be able to see and delete after, and then you put the OMSP, I think it's OMSP shelf next to it, and then you just drag them on, which is so much easier than trying to like put the things on there and drag that item away and then put them back properly. You know what I mean? Like, any builder that has played The Sims will know what I mean. But I'm just like going around everywhere and going through it with like a fine-toothed comb at the moment, changing things that I didn't like, adding things from the clutter menu that I couldn't find earlier and realised that I actually did want in this certain place. But I'm doing the thing right now where I'm like filling up all of the lock-on slots with the little sapling plant, and then I have the OMSP shelf to the side, and then I'm just dragging everything on and they won't lock on because that spot's already full. It's a genius idea, honestly. Okay, so please bear with me while I'm doing this kitchen because I had a fight with this kitchen. I hated the size of it, I hated the window placement, I hated the arches, everything about it. I was just like hating myself for making it this way. You'll see that I spend a lot of time in this kitchen just trying to make it work. I am kind of happy with how it turned out. I won't say it's the best kitchen that I've ever made in my entire life, because it's definitely not. But I'm happier with how it turned out than how it was turning out. I moved the windows around, and I'm hoping that you guys don't mind that the windows at the back are a different height from the windows at the front. I'm hoping nobody notices in game, because that would annoy the hell out of me. But they are higher than the ones in the front. I apologise. It was kind of the only way that I was going to get this kitchen to work. But I do something like a little bit different here in the kitchen, which I don't see many people do, and I don't even know if I like it or if you guys are going to like it. But I used these like, oh my god, what are they called? These upper counters, the things that you put like up on the wall. I used them as shelves down on the counters. That didn't make sense at all, and I hope you understand what I mean. I have seen people use the longer one, like the one on the right. Lots of people use them like to make it look like a full walled cupboard, but I messed about and used a different one as well. And as I was like cluttering up the kitchen, I was really struggling what to put and where. Unfortunately, we don't have any pots and pans in this kitchen because I couldn't fit them in, but we do have like a little section up there which I thought was like a snack section and ketchup and stuff that the mum puts up there in order to not allow the child to get to all of them, so they're not like snacking before dinner. My cat's right next to my microphone. Hello, George. Are you gonna meow? No, he just walked off. He meows a lot, apart from when I ask him to meow. And then in that little corner right there, I made like an... Nora is now playing with a piece of elastic stuck to the cat tree, so I'm sorry if you can hear that. But I made the sim like a little tea area over there because I don't know why, but us ADHDers, we love our tea. Like, we like the calming teas and we like to pretend that they're doing something to our brains when they're actually not. But I do like the way that the kitchen came out. I think it's unique, and the end way that this house looked, I kind of thought like this person with ADHD has moved in and they've bought stuff that they like, but they've also not really thought about how to finish the house, and so it's kind of like a collection of stuff that kind of goes but also kind of doesn't go. Like the colour scheme is there and the items are there that they need, but they're also just kind of so cluttered that it doesn't look finished. George, that's my PC, you can't play with that. It's kind of like what my house looks like right now. Kind of finished, but also kind of definitely not. Sorry, they have like a radiator bed thing, and George just jumped off it and like he was whipping his tail around and decided to whack his tail on the radiator, so that's what that big bang was, if you heard that. But yeah, anyway, this is the dining room. I imagine that they had friends, so even though it's just her and her sim child living here, I put a lot of seats around the dining table thinking that they would maybe like host dinner parties, because as I said, one of the first hobbies that I thought, oh yeah, they definitely have this hobby, it was cooking. So I thought that they would probably host a few dinner parties here, and I also cluttered the hell out of this bookshelf because I thought maybe this is just a ton of stuff that they've collected like over their entire life. Maybe they used to live in the city and they had these like city statues, and now they don't know where to put them, but they also don't want to get rid of them, and so that's where everything that they don't know where to put but don't want to get rid of lives, and it's on top of the bookshelf in the dining room because they don't have a garage space, they don't have like any storage space, so everything is kind of out in the open even if they don't necessarily want it to be. And of course I'm adding plants because ADHD people love plants. I'm not stereotyping us, I promise, even though I kind of am. But we do love plants and we love killing them as well, so luckily you can't kill plants in The Sims. This bathroom, I kind of made it the child's bathroom even though it isn't their ensuite. I included lots of like kids stuff in here, and obviously the little cute cat decal on the window of them brushing their teeth. I just think that's really cute. I also played about with tulle and made a blind that fits that window. I was very proud of myself for doing that. Put loads of like kids clutter in there. I was going to put makeup in there for the mom sim, but then I was like, no, this kind of feels more like the kids' bathroom than the mom's bathroom, because kids don't really have showers, they have like bubble baths a lot of the time as well. So that's why there isn't a shower in that one. The mom does get a shower in the ensuite later on. I'm just quickly doing the laundrette. Like, it was a really awkward size and I was cursing myself for making such a weird sized room, but it works out. They have room for some decor in there and a washer, dryer and a litter tray for the cat that I imagine them having. I also put up some little posters in there that I thought were just kind of cute, that would like remind them of the temperature of the washing and stuff. this is the mom's ensuite that I'm doing now, and at this point in the build I was definitely struggling with bless me, I was definitely struggling with the vibes that I was going for. Like, as you can see, I started off with a really boring bathroom that was like just bland, but then I made it into a really colourful bathroom, and I loved that. And now I'm fighting with the living room and the layout of the living room, and cursing myself once again for creating such a disgusting floor plan. The living room turned out, I feel like it's just chaos, but that's kind of what I was going for at this point, because I had the idea of the sim having ADHD and like trying to fit every single hobby that she has and that her child has into this small bungalow home. So I do enjoy how it came out, and I do want people to be aware of the fact that it was meant to be kind of not cohesive. It was meant to be kind of messy and not making sense, because that's what the sim is suffering with every day of their life. So we have the little sitting area there where they will be watching telly. We have a bookshelf because, of course, as I said, one of their main hobbies is reading. And then we have like a little entrance area. I'm just kind of going through and adding stuff to other rooms where I was like, oh my god, I wanted that in their room and I couldn't find it earlier, so I'm going to add it in now. So I apologise for lots of zipping about. But as I just mentioned, one of their main hobbies is reading, so I created them this little cute reading nook here, where they can just sit and relax in the living room, because obviously, as I have mentioned, the house is chaos. It's not necessarily dirty, but it's definitely like cluttered and messy. And so I definitely wanted to give the mom sim or dad sim or parent sim somewhere where they could just sit down and relax when they aren't focusing on trying to make money for their child. Over in this little corner here, I imagine that like their child would want to work on some creative skills because they see their parent doing it all the time. Like, you know, our kids copy their parents, even though they desperately want to be a vet and they're probably more science orientated than art orientated. I gave them that little corner so they could like copy their mom and what their mom was doing from time to time. And this is kind of the last bit of the build here. I finish off by adding this really cluttered desk into the middle of the living room to kind of section off the living area and the rest of the living room, if that makes sense at all. I hope it does, because I'm not going to redo this voiceover because I've redone it like 3 times already. But yeah, I make a really cluttered desk here for the mom sim. I'm guessing this is where she like does all of her business stuff. My cat is on my PC. I really hope he doesn't press the power button. I'm going to be so upset if he does, because I'll have to redo the voiceover. But I imagined that one of the last hobbies that she's kind of picked up and she's like, oh yeah, I can definitely do this, is writing books. And so I add loads of clutter for like what I would imagine a potential author would have on their desk. Lots of notepads, like a mug with coffee spilling off the side, loads of books. I include like a box of files underneath her. There it is, underneath her desk. I imagine that's like drafts and stuff. And then I also added some embroidery things, knitting things, because they're also things that she probably does as well, and some gym stuff as well. But that is basically the end of the video now. If you guys enjoyed, you can download this on the gallery, and I love you so much. Keep on simming and don't forget to subscribe. I hope you guys enjoy the screenshots, and happy October. Hope you have a wonderful Halloween. See you in the next one. Stay cozy. Bye bye.